Hey, folks, it's Mark Arum. I hope you're enjoying the Mark Arum Show podcast. A reminder, you can hear this very radio show live Monday through Friday. We're live 6 to 8 p.m. Monday through Friday on 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk. Welcome to the show. It's a Tuesday. Mark Arum and crew with you till 8 in the p.m. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. A lot of big local stuff. The Braves win. I got to start the show by saying rest in peace to Eddie Van Halen. I don't know, Deborah Green from 97.1 The River, Atlanta's classic hits station. The greatest, one of the top guitarists of all time.
When you talk about guitarists of all time, you're always going to throw in Jimi Hendrix.
Yeah.
And then if you, a little bit later, obviously, because he was gone so soon for my generation, you're going to say Eddie Van Halen. People picked up a guitar to try to be Eddie Van Halen, to learn his technique. Yeah, definitely.
Right. Well, we're going to play proper tribute to Eddie later on in the show. But we like to kick things off on Tuesday with a very fun, interactive game that you can play along in your car. Would you rather?
It's time. Now, time for Would You Rather with Lil Sanjay.
He is the guru, the soothsayer, the truth seeker, the asker of unanswerable questions. He joins us every Tuesday and Thursday on the Mark Arum Show. He's Lil Sanjay and Would You Rather. How you doing, Sanjay?
I'm doing well, man. Just staying busy, getting close to this tax deadline on October 15th.
There's another tax deadline?
Yeah, man. The extended folks, people that took a break and said, you know what, we'll get it done later.
All right. And again, if you don't know this, Sanjay is the official account of the Mark Arum Show, and for the last 12 years has done the taxes for Donald J. Trump. So if you only want to pay $750, Sanjay is your dude. Brass.tax online. Sanjay, Eddie Van Halen passed. I knew you grew up in India and Alabama, but you're around that age that he would have been a big deal, right?
Oh, he was a huge deal, man. I remember all the music videos, the Hot for Teacher. I mean, this is it's a spot in my heart that'll never get filled.
Forgive my ignorance. Do you know how to play an instrument? Like the ukulele or something?
I play guitar.
Guitar.
I play guitar. Yeah, not anywhere near.
Do you have a Frankenstrat?
No, I have an actual Stratocaster, and I got a Larrivee acoustic that I love.
Was it Eddie Van Halen, Jimi Hendrix, or a Bollywood star that got you hooked on the guitar?
It's Jimi Hendrix. I mean, yeah.
One of the cast members that wished to remain anonymous wants to know if you know how to play the sitar.
No, but my dad does, and he will be giving me that sitar
Shut up,
soon,
really?
So.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right, so here's the deal.
Talk.
Enough messing around. Sanjay is going to ask us unanswerable questions. We're going to try to answer them in the studio, and I'd love for you to play along in your car or at home. What is the first question, Sanjay?
All right. Would you rather have 300,000 extremely loyal social media followers or 2 extremely loyal servants in real life?
Servants? What? Absolutely. Not like they're paid, right? They're not held against their own will. Let me just clarify that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Give me a cleaning lady and a cook. Or absolutely. What 300,000? I have 300,000 followers. What does that get me? Grief. Whoa. Every time I tweet something, people are like, what about this? Oh, forget it. Yeah, give me 2 servants. That's the dream right there.
Social media is the worst thing ever.
Could be.
We're forced to use it. I really, really dislike it. I don't like the idea of having servants because that's kind of weird too.
Yeah.
But I'll take that over social media trolls
I'm not
any
going to
day.
call them a servant,
No,
by the way.
they'll be my
They're
friends.
employees and friends. Yeah. By the way, have you guys seen The Social Dilemma yet on Netflix?
No.
Must watch. Must watch. You'll watch that. Chuck, you're barely... Oh, by the way, condolences on your dog, man.
Oh.
Why didn't you even tell me?
Nice.
You're such a stoic. He's more stoic than you, Longoria.
Yeah, I guess so.
We'll talk about that later. I'm so sorry, man. By the way, you're not on Facebook much. You post pictures of your kids
that's pretty much
and your dog when he dies, and don't tell anybody. But you'll delete your Facebook account after watching it.
100%.
Yeah, watch The Social Dilemma. I mean, literally everyone needs to watch it, and especially if you've got parents that are in their 60s or older, watch it with them because it's insane what's going on social media, especially with Facebook and the older generation. It's ridiculous. Please watch that tonight or sometime this week. The Social Dilemma on Netflix. You want the servants, right?
Of course.
Not the followers.
Yeah, servants.
Servants, 100%.
Oh, yeah.
Which 2 servants would you choose? So I go cleaning lady and cook, or cleaning person and cook.
Butler.
Oh, you want a butler?
You can do everything.
Yeah. Please change my daughter's diaper.
My daughters were asking for a butler this week, and they were like, "What's a butler?" And I explained it to them, and they were like, "Can we get one?" I'm like, "No."
Yeah. That's what your mother-in-law is.
Yeah, Daddy's not rich.
Dress your mother-in-law up in a little butler outfit. Chuck, which 2 servants do you want?
I would get a cook and like a landscape gardener.
Oh, yeah.
Take care of everything. But I don't get to make decisions, so my wife would probably pick the housekeeper.
Cleaning person. Deborah, what about you?
Yeah, totally yard person all the way. And then, yeah, I guess cleaning. I mean, I can clean, but sure.
Yeah. I bet a lot of people listening right now would say if you can have 2 servants, one of them would be a driver. Little Sanjay continues with Would You Rather. What's the next question, Sanjay?
All right, number 2. Would you rather have unlimited fruit smoothies or unlimited cut fresh fruit?
And I can choose whatever fruit I want.
Yeah, of course. If you want star fruit, it's all yours.
That wouldn't have made my top 10. I enjoy fruit smoothies, as does Sanjay's dog that you can hear in the background. But they fill me up so much that I can't eat after. I don't want a smoothie to be my meal, but I love fresh cut fruit, fresh mangoes. You remember Seinfeld? Mm-hmm. It moved. So give me unlimited fresh cut fruit, any kind I want. Kiwi. Guava, pomegranate. Yeah, I want the fresh cut fruit.
I have never had a smoothie.
Really?
I think they're too sugary, right? There's a lot of sugar in it.
There can be.
It depends on how you make it.
I'd rather just eat fresh fruit.
They don't have a smoothie bar at your gym?
No.
No, interesting.
No, I go to the cheap gym.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fresh cut fruit for Deborah as well. Low T, Chuck.
Oh, 100% the fruit.
The fresh
I
cut
get
fruit.
tired of the smoothies after a while. There's only so many combinations, but man, there's a lot of fruit out there.
Interesting. Longoria.
Yeah, fresh cut fruit.
So back when I worked at my uncle's cigar store in Buckhead, there was a Smoothie King below. I don't know if it's still there, right in the Peach Shopping Center, Peach Road. And I used to go down there and get smoothies a lot. They were good. And they had the best tuna fish sandwich you've ever had at Smoothie King. It was crazy. Really? It wasn't even a sandwich. It was a wrap. It was a tuna salad wrap. Amazing. I don't know if they have it anymore right now. Cafe at Far Dunwoody has the best tuna salad sandwich in the world. It is so good. Man. I'm not even kidding. Maya and I get that like every Sunday. We get Uber Eats delivery. It's the best tuna salad. Cafe at Far Dunwoody especially. Special love in that one. All right, next question, Sanjay. Wait, you said fruit?
All right, would you rather have...
Yeah, I said fruit.
Would you rather have dinner early, like before 5 p.m., or late, like after 8 p.m.?
I'm kind of stuck with that right now. Like, I don't know when to eat dinner. So I wake up at 4 p.m., and I'm here by 5, and I'm on the air at 6. So there's no time really to eat dinner. But by 8 o'clock, I'm freaking starving, as Longoria can attest. In a perfect world, I want to eat late and go to bed late, but my schedule doesn't permit it. So give me an 8 p.m. dinner. I like, and then stay up till midnight, 1 a.m.
Yeah, I kind of eat dinner late now because I'll prep everything and then I'll eat with my husband at home. So I guess I'll just stick with that.
All right. Longoria, Low T Chuck, rather?
I miss having dinner early. That's how we had it when I was a kid.
Yeah.
But now with this schedule, I don't eat dinner till 9
We had to eat before the sun went down.
Basically, so
you save the candles.
You won't be able to cut your steak. You can't see
save the candles.
I'd much rather eat early.
Yeah. How many candles a week did you go through in Montana?
Not a lot, because you really only use one in a room.
Yeah.
So, it's not like the movies where you got 50 candles.
Did you walk around as a kid in Whitefish, Montana?
Yes.
Like if you had to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night?
Yes.
Did you have to light a candle next to the bed to guide you through your way?
No, after a while, you kind of become a blind person. You can pretty much know where everything is in the room, and you have a good sense of how many steps you are from. So you don't really have to.
Right. I can never get enough of Low T's Montana stories. Longoria. I forgot the question.
I already forgot the question, too.
What is the question?
Eat dinner early or
late?
eat
dinner after 8. I mean, I eat at 9 anyway.
All right. Those early bird specials in Florida are clutch, though.
They are.
When Maya and I went down to St. Pete, we were like, well, if we get to there at 4:30, we get the 2-for-1 grouper. So
and then you can have a later dinner.
Yeah, exactly. It's like pre-dinner. Next question, Sanjay.
All right. Would you rather know absolutely everything there is to know about one of your hobbies or pastimes, or know a little about absolutely everything?
I have gotten this far in life because I know a little about a lot of stuff, right? I'm not an expert in just about anything, but I can hold an intelligent conversation in pretty much any topic you want. In fact, back on the old show, 10 to midnight, we would do this once in a while. I would say, you pick the topic. And I'd have callers pick, and they'd be like, Czechoslovakian Revolution. And you all right, Sanjay?
I'm good.
Right.
Sorry.
And I would do 10 minutes on the Czech. Like I have enough surface knowledge to get by on pretty much anything, and I enjoy that. So I'm going to choose that. Deborah?
Yeah, Yeah, I think it'd be easier to know a little bit about a lot of things. That way people aren't trying to dupe you either. Like if you're, if you only know one thing.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
a little about a lot.
Less gullible, perhaps. Low T Chuck.
A little about everything. I think the practicality there, it's better. Like, I might have to do some plumbing around the house. Oh, I know a little plumbing. I could probably figure that out.
Yeah, that's one thing I don't know.
Yeah. But I'm saying, like, there's little things. That
I used Drano last week, though. That was pretty exciting.
Nice job.
I'm excited about you.
That stuff really doesn't work.
Not really.
I mean,
nah.
I think it's a placebo for me. Yeah, you really do. I mean, it worked, I guess. I don't know. Longoria.
A little about a lot.
Little about a lot. Sanjay, next question.
All right. Would you rather that all the potatoes you eat from now on be baked or that they be mashed?
Mashed potatoes for the win. One of my favorite foods of all time.
Absolutely. Mashed potatoes are one of the greatest foods ever.
Listen, I don't want to get political here. For those baked potato fans out there, I love a baked potato. Don't get me wrong. But mashed potatoes all day, every day. The best comfort food in the world.
It's not even a question, mashed potatoes.
Yeah.
Yeah, mashed potatoes.
Do they have potatoes in India, Sanjay?
They do. Lots of potatoes.
Like the big Idaho russets, or do you get them like...
Probably not Idaho, but
those Pakistani purple ones?
Yes, correct.
Right. Sanjay, great job as always, my friend. He is the official accountant of the Mark Arum Show. Find him on Facebook, Brass Tax Accounting or brass.tax. We'll talk to you on Thursday, buddy.
My man.
All right, Eddie Van Halen, rest in peace. All Van Halen tonight on the Mark Arum Show. 404-872-0750. Back after this. Braves win game one of the NLDS over the Florida Marlins. My nephew, Ronald Acuna Jr., hit a home run and got hit by a pitch, I believe. We'll break down the Braves in just a second. Bill joins us in Brazelton. Bill, welcome to the show.
Hey, Mark, love your show.
Thank you, brother.
Just want to share some Van Halen memories. And when I was a junior in high school in 78, we went to them and Black Sabbath. They opened for Black Sabbath, and they absolutely blew them off the stage, and I got hooked, play guitar, do all that stuff. Never Eddie Van Halen type talent, but...
who is, obviously. What year was it? You said 78, Bill?
78, I was a junior in high school, and saw them there. It was fantastic. I ended up going to their shows for probably about the next 5 years. And, back then you had to camp out to get decent tickets because there was no Ticketmaster.
Sure.
So we always had first and second row. And in 78, when he came out there and just hit the guitar, nobody had ever heard anything like that. It was just so amazing. And throughout all of the 80s, you had all these young up-and-coming guitar players wanting to be half as good as him. So
Eddie Van Halen, for someone my age or your age, Bill, was the gold standard, right? I was too young to see Hendrix live, but Eddie Van Halen was... I'll give you my reflections on what Van Halen, especially the group, and Eddie, the guitarist, meant for me growing up. 404-872-0750. 1-800-WSB-TALK on Twitter and Instagram at Mark Arum. Oh, tomorrow on the show, senatorial candidate John Ossoff will join us. News, weather, and traffic next on 95.5 WSB.
Hi, this is Valerie Bertinelli, and you're listening to The Mark Arum Show.
Timely drop there, Longoria. Valerie Bertinelli, of course, the ex-wife of Eddie Van Halen, who passed away today at the age of 65. Welcome back to The Mark Arum Show. Deborah Green, our official rock expert from our sister station, 97.1 The River. Throat cancer, is that what they're saying the cause of?
Yeah, so he had
was?
tongue cancer and defeated that, and then throat cancer. Yeah,
oh,
he actually had like a third of his tongue removed.
Oh.
I know, and then throat cancer came back, and that's ultimately is what they're saying.
Jeez, rest in peace. On a personal note, I did not like Eddie Van Halen personally because he married my crush, the aforementioned Valerie Bertinelli. But Van Halen in Connecticut in the 80s, there was nothing bigger, nothing cooler. If in my high school, Torrington High School, which is what it is, when I was there, the two coolest things on the planet were Van Halen and Eddie Murphy. Right? That was it. We emulated everything that Eddie Murphy did and everything that Eddie Van Halen did. Like, that was the epitome of culture in Northwestern Connecticut in the late 80s. People, like, we adopted the talking style of Eddie Murphy, from Beverly Hills Cop. Like it was amazing, the cultural influence, especially at that time in your life when you're, in high school and culture can just, saturate everything, every asset and facet of your life. It was all Van Halen and all Eddie Murphy. They were the two coolest things when I was in high school. It's incredible. Def Leppard made a run. They did make a run.
That would have come a little bit later, though, right? And they wouldn't have been around if you didn't have Van Halen.
Yeah, exactly. So just a huge loss to the rock world. Again, I got mad at Eddie because in 1981 he married Valerie Bertinelli, who I specifically remember being my first crush ever. From One Day at a Time.
Yep.
I don't know, 5 or 6. I was like, oh yeah, I like that. That's
I like that.
I like that. That's what I like. That's what I like. I like brunettes. That's what I when she got married, I was 8 and I was crushed. I was like
8.
I was like, what's going on? No, you got to wait for me, Valerie. I even brought that up in that interview. Maybe we'll re-air that on Friday, but so I was never a fan of Eddie Van Halen, the person, because he stole my true love, but Van Halen, I mean, when we were in football practice in the weight room, it was Van Halen. Like maybe they would sneak in another song, like an Iron Maiden song or something, or Metallica my senior year. But man, it was wall to wall Van Halen. I got a funny Van Halen concert story too. I'll tell you a little bit later in the show. Your reflections on the passing of Eddie Van Halen and what were the coolest things? Be it an actor, a comedian, a musician, a band. When you were in high school, that was the epitome of coolness when you were in high school. Just to get a cross-section of where our listeners are. 404-872-0750, 1-800-WSB-TALK. Monty joins us in Ackworth. Monty, welcome to the Mark Arum Show.
All right. I don't know if you have an official topic tonight because I'm a little late tuning in.
We're all over the map. Go ahead, buddy.
All right. That's great. Everybody's complaining about the year 2020, and I'm right at the top of that list because I'm probably one of your oldest listeners. I wanted to, what was the best year of your life? And I'll start it off and why. And it was 1948, okay? And there was one TV station in Atlanta, Georgia. It was Channel 8. You know who that was?
I'm assuming it's WSB because we've been around for
exactly
74 years.
Good.
Yeah, we just celebrated our 74th birthday, WSB TV.
Yeah, okay. And, and I'm 78, but I remember it well. 1940, that was the year I started the first grade, and there are a lot of things that we have today we didn't have then.
I would imagine.
Cell phones, color. We didn't have a TV either.
Yeah.
Tennis shoes. Nobody had tennis shoes. We just grew calluses on our feet in the summer.
What did you, all right, so no tennis. This is an interesting conversation, Monty. What would you wear to school? Like boots or dress shoes? What would you wear on your feet to go to school?
Just the same shoes you wore, and you had your Sunday shoes, okay?
But what kind of
then.
shoes were the same shoes? Like, give me, what are they?
I think they were just leather shoes,
Okay. Gotcha.
I don't think rubber
Buster
had
Browns?
been invented back in that.
The Buster Brown loafers?
Yeah, no, they were tie-up. I remember,
Okay.
always had to untie your shoes.
Yeah.
And people today don't know what a stump toe is, but you lived the whole summer with stump toes because you were barefoot,
Sure, yeah.
Yeah. And but you had home-cooked meals, you held hands, you said the blessing Sunday dinner, and you had lots of stuff to do outside. And you rode your bicycle. A lot of people had paper routes, and nobody locked their doors. And it was just a better time.
I'm sorry to jump in, Monty. What was the first Van Halen concert you went to?
Never did.
I'm just kidding, buddy. I'm just kidding. Well, that's a great call, Monty. Listen, I would love to talk to you more in depth about your life because he sounds like an interesting thing. But we got to take a break for traffic. But I appreciate you calling and I appreciate you listening. Rest in peace, Eddie Van Halen. Eddie Van Halen, Eddie Murphy. The coolest things when I was in high school. Nothing cooler than Van Halen and Eddie Murphy. What about when you were in school? 404-872-0750, 1-800-WSB-TALK. This is The Mark Arum Show. Bad news for our political analyst, Charles Thomas III from the Revenue.com. Your BFF, Stephen Miller, has tested positive for COVID. That's just coming out in the last couple of minutes there. So more positive COVID tests. We will continually update the president's condition and the spread in the administration here throughout the overnight hours. And, of course, complete coverage tomorrow morning starting Atlanta's Morning News with Scott Slade at 4:30. You ever met Stephen Miller, Charles Thomas III?
I have not. Talked to him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting cat.
He is.
I respect him for this. Like, he tried doing that pour-on hair for a little bit.
Yeah, it didn't work.
You know, like the stuff that you pour follicles on.
Yeah.
And then he after he saw how bad he looked, he's like, all right, I'm going to go back to the receding hairline.
Yeah, that's fine.
Speaking of hair bands, Van Halen, rest in peace, Eddie Van Halen. No, was that a stretch?
I don't know that they would have called Van Halen a hair band, even though David Lee Roth.
They had the hair.
Yeah, but they wouldn't have been a hair band.
By the way, Jews Nugget Longoria, David Lee Roth, Jewish.
No Semites.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yes.
All right. Just in case people didn't know. Eddie Van Halen, not Jewish. Kim is in Atlanta. Kim, welcome to the Mark Arum Show. How are you?
Great. I have a Van Halen show that I saw that was fabulous. I saw them probably about 82 or 83 at the Gator Bowl in Florida. And they opened for the Rolling Stones.
What a concert. Holy smokes.
And they could have carried that show by themselves without the Rolling Stones. They were so good, but to have a double bill with them. But, you know, because a lot of times when you had an opening band, people would just kind of not pay attention.
Yeah, you filter in, you're talking, you're drinking.
But they were big already, and they had such presence and their musicianship. I mean, at that time, they could have carried a bill themselves.
Oh, yeah.
But,
I bet they just did that for the experience of tour. Like, they could have toured on their own.
The Stones often would ask bands to open for them.
Yeah, as an honor.
Yeah, just to hang with the Rolling Stones.
Like, if you think about it, so now in 2020, you look back on it, like, the Van Halen just epitomized the 80s. What the 80s, I mean, they started in the 70s, but, like, just, we don't care about anything. We're just going to party and rock and roll and have a good time. And what I think really helped Van Halen, too, for me personally, in my generation was, so I wasn't around in the late 70s. I wasn't be able to go to concerts. But when MTV came out and then they crushed those videos, the Hot for Teacher video, Longoria still plays that at home.
Every night.
Russ joins us in Gainesville.
Russ, come here a minute. I want to talk.
You a big Van Halen fan there, Russell?
I saw them twice, and I saw Hendrix. Believe it or not.
Oh, no kidding. Did your dad hook you up with tickets?
Well, yeah, I was 10 years old. They were at the Atlanta Pop Festival, and I saw Hendrix. So that was kind of cool.
That's amazing. I'm very jealous of that. Hendrix, The Doors, I'd love to have seen either of them.
Well, I'm 15 years older than you, so
at
that's
least,
how I did it.
At least, Russ.
But, yeah, Van Halen was fun because all the girls would pull their clothes off and throw it on the stage. Because of that David Lee Roth guy.
Yeah. But what's funny is I only saw Van Halen once, and I saw him in 1991-ish, and it wasn't David Lee Roth. It would
have been Sammy Hagar.
Sammy Hagar. Yeah. I mean, I still enjoyed the concert, but I never saw the original group with.
The last time the David Lee Roth played with them was actually at Music Midtown, like 4 years ago.
Really?
Yeah, it was the last time they played together.
I missed that. I'm too old for Music Midtown these days. You have fun in the mosh pit, Deborah Green. I'm done. Russ, any thoughts you want to send along? Chuck can text the president if you want to send along your well wishes.
Yeah, because I love Trump. I don't care what happens. I'm going to go through riots, whatever it takes to go vote for him.
There won't be riots. You go ahead and it'll be a peaceful vote. You'll be fine. Cast your ballot. Do your American duty. Be patriotic, but don't worry about going to the polls. It'll be fine, Russ.
Okay.
Yeah. But do you want to say anything to the president?
Yeah, I love you. Thanks for everything you do.
All right, there you go. Short and sweet, just like the way we like it. Russ, hopefully we can squeeze you on this Friday. We had to bump you because of the breaking news with the president. I apologize for that, but you understand the president's health a little bit more important than Never Have I Ever with Russ in Gainesville.
Just a little bit.
Yeah, it's close.
Exactly.
It's a close call. But, but you take care there, Russell.
Thanks, Mark.
All right, buddy. 404-872-0750, 1-800-WSB-TALK. Oh, are you playing it? It's stereo, so I didn't hear it in my right ear. I'm sorry. I was like, hit the music, Longoria. Come on, Stoic One. When we come back, more Van Halen, and roommates in the time of COVID. Interesting statistic that Deborah Green found out. 404-872-0750 on Twitter and Instagram at Mark Arum. This is The Mark Arum Show.
The Mark Arum Show is performed before a live studio audience.
No, I want this town to be near you. I stand alone. I stand alone.
Welcome back to the show and a good Tuesday Eve to you. Mark Arum here, you there at 7:07, 7 minutes after 7 o'clock. This is the Mark Arum Show, heard Monday through Friday, 6 to 8 p.m. on 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk. Whole gang here tonight. Deborah Green, the executive producer of the program. Longoria, the stoic one on the other side of the takeout window. Beefsteak Charlie screens them calls. We'll get back to our remembrance of Eddie Van Halen, dead today at the age of 65. Throat cancer takes the rock and roll legend, one of the greatest guitarists of all time. I still want to know, when you were in high school, who were the coolest things? For me, it was Van Halen and Eddie Murphy. Everyone in my school loved Van Halen and Eddie Murphy. Everybody. Every clique, the jocks, the wheeze, the geeks, the dweebs, the losers, all those little cliques from Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Sportos, the Bloods.
Exactly. The Bloods, the Sportos, the nerds. We all loved Eddie Murphy and Eddie Van Halen. Whitefish, Montana, I would imagine, would have a different, when you were growing up. I mean, was it O'Neill Williams and John Wayne? Like, what was...
Well, yeah, John Wayne, obviously. No, AC/DC.
Really?
Nobody was a big Van Halen. There's a few, but I wasn't.
You're a little younger than me, so maybe the a couple of years earlier would have been.
Yeah.
Longoria, growing up in Texas.
I think it was Metallica was around my time.
Metallica
my senior year of high school, Metallica became the
more
thing,
than Van Halen.
Sure.
Like the generation, the kids before me, like grew up in the '80s and stuff. They were Van Halen.
Yeah, but I could see that 100%. Metallica was big in Montana, I would imagine.
Oh yeah. When I was in high school, then Metallica took over.
Yeah. What about you, Deborah Green, growing up in Wisconsin?
I mean, my uncle would have been into Van Halen, so that's how I would have known it. But so I was in high school, would have been the end of the '90s. So whatever leftover grunge, I was big into Nine Inch Nails, Stone Temple Pilots, Pearl Jam.
Yeah. When in the mid '90s, it was Pearl Jam and that whole grunge thing, and every single shirt in my wardrobe was flannel, like every single shirt.
Do you still have any of those?
I never throw anything away, so yes, I absolutely still have.
I'd like to see your flannels.
All right, absolutely. So we'll talk about that. Also, Deborah Green came up with this story. It's like a little lighthearted COVID-19 story. I'm sick of the tough stuff. Check this out. 1 in 4 singles have hooked up with their roommates during lockdown.
Oh, yeah, I see that.
25%.
Absolutely.
During desperate times, you got to do what you got to do, or whom you have. A new survey released Tuesday by online dating company Match.com found that nearly 25% of singles who reported having coitus during lockdown did so with a non-romantic roommate, one of the many ways Americans have had to adapt during the coronavirus pandemic. I don't care if you've diddled the roommate during COVID-19, but am I weird? I have never had a platonic female roommate.
Really?
I've never lived with a woman that I wasn't romantically involved with.
That's true, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Have you guys done that?
Oh, yeah.
No, I haven't.
Yeah, because we're, upstanding young men.
Yeah, yeah, you are.
You've had a female platonic roommate?
Yeah, a couple.
What was the circumstances around that?
We worked at the same TV station.
Okay.
I lived with my girlfriend at the time, but they lived with us.
Oh, okay. All right. So there was your girlfriend was still with you.
Yeah.
So there was no hanky-panky
No,
going on.
not at all. There would. I don't think there would have been anyway, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not opposed to. I wouldn't have been opposed to living with a female, but it just never happened. I've always had male roommates. Deborah, have you ever had a platonic male roommate?
Absolutely. They're the easier roommates to have.
Really?
Yeah, just find some dude that you're friends with or that you're not even friends with. Just live in the other room and pay the bills. And those are the best roommates.
But dudes are sloppy.
But they had their own room.
All right. So as long as their room...
Yeah, I never went in there. Just pay the bill.
The communal area was fine as long as... their room could be messy as long as the kitchen and the
just
living
clean the
room.
kitchen. That's fine.
Did you ever hook up with any of them?
Absolutely not.
No.
No, that's why they were my roommates.
Okay.
Yeah, they were like not my type at all. And that's
yeah,
why
you always want to pick one that you.
it's like not even really
Costanza picking
drunk.
The secretary.
Sure.
You should have went with the.
Yeah. He picked the one that he was not attracted to and wound up hooking up with her anyway, which is what's going on in COVID. So these 25% of roommates that are hooking up, they probably had that same thought process you did, Deborah. We're like, well, I'm not interested in this person. But, times get tough.
Yeah, after 4 months, you're just like, wow.
My type is so specific. They don't run freely around cities. You have to go to hunting grounds to get them.
But still.
So,
during a pandemic, it's like when I was a bachelor. And I'd get hungry at midnight, and I'd go to my fridge, and I would eat whatever was there, right? Beggars can't be choosers. You wouldn't have thought in a pandemic, Deborah?
I'll show you if I can find some photos of my roommates. You'll be like, oh, I get it.
I can show you some
Here's
photos.
The thing, girls are not guys.
yeah,
that's right.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's just,
But it takes two to tango for this stat to work.
But I bet you the guy's more like the initiator.
That's more of a guy thing.
Yeah.
It's like, come on. I mean, it's been 4 months. And she starts thinking about it, and it takes another month. And all right.
it just wore her down.
He's planning the you're there for 5 months. You're going to wear her down at some point.
Yeah, 2 days into the lockdown, the dude's like, all right, this is going to happen. But it took the female roommate 5 or 6 months to finally like, all right, I don't even have the willpower anymore. If you pay for Uber Eats, we'll do it. It'll happen tonight. I thought I was in the majority with Longoria that I've never had a platonic roommate of the opposite sex. Has anyone had a roommate of the opposite sex, and how did that work out? 404-872-0750, 1-800-WSB-TALK. Kent joins us in Jasper, Georgia. Kent, thanks for hanging on. Welcome to the show.
Hey, Mark, thanks for taking my call. I appreciate it, buddy.
What's cooking?
Well, I was thinking you and I need to meet and arm wrestle somewhere because you have a crush on Valerie as well.
I'm going to assume just by the depth and tone of your voice, you would beat me in arm wrestling, Ken. I don't think I would hold a candle to you.
Yeah, but I'm an antique. I'm like 63 years old. So I think you got a good run, buddy.
Yeah, your voice alone, I think you got me in the arm wrestling.
Well, I spent a lot of time over in Japan promoting bands. I was never into Van Halen, but I had an import-export company in Tokyo and used to promote a lot of different shows. And I had an encounter with Valerie's old sister from the TV show.
Oh, I've had her on the show, yeah. Oh, gosh, what's her name? Mackenzie Phillips? Mackenzie,
Phillips' daughter.
Yeah, Mackenzie Phillips.
Mackenzie Phillips.
Yeah.
Her and Spanky. I guess she took over the other woman that ate the sandwich and passed away.
Wait, Spanky from the Little Rascals?
Yeah. She took over. She was singing with Mamas and Papas. And Mama Cass had passed away.
Okay.
So Spanky came over, and she took Mama Cass's spot.
Gotcha.
And Susie, she came in, and she was doing backups with her father. And with Papa John. But at any rate, it was a lot of fun. But that's the closest I got to Valerie.
Well, I've interviewed her on the phone a couple times, and it's like she's hung up on me both times. Like she's been like, all right, this is way too awkward. I got to go now. But, oh, my God, Valerie Bertinelli. I was crushed at 8 years old when she married Eddie Van Halen. So I was never, since that day, I mean, I like Van Halen, but I was always a David Lee Roth guy because Eddie stole the love of my life.
Talking to some guy named...
Did you get that, Longoria? Oh, all right, Darren, regroup. Yes. Regroup. Tell your lady friend no swearing, and we'll come back to you in just a second. Make sure Darren's okay there, Chuck. John is up next on the Mark Arum Show. Hey, John, what's going on?
Well, I hope this story is as good as I think it is. Actually, it's been included in the Van Halen biography and Black Sabbath biography. 1978, Van Halen opened up for Black Sabbath, and of course, we really hadn't heard of Van Halen, but they were great, and of course, obviously Eddie was great, and we were all taken with them, but Black Sabbath never came on stage. Apparently, Ozzy had gotten drunk and went to the same hotel that he went to in Birmingham the night before. Not the same hotel, but the same hotel room, and passed out and never showed up. So back in those days, it wasn't that unusual for concerts to, for whatever reason, Allman Brothers or whoever, they were always late for their concerts. So
That's still true. That's still true today. I mean, the concert. I don't know, Deborah. You go to more concerts than I do, but do concerts ever start on time? Like that's historically.
There's this new trend now where there's not even opening bands, and so you'll just get there and they're playing.
Oh,
But
really?
some of the larger ones, yeah, they'll start late.
Yeah, I've waited for almost 2 hours for a concert to start. Is Darren good, Chuck? We got him. We're ready to go. All right, Darren, welcome back to the show, buddy. What's going on?
Oh, man, sorry about the little interruption
That's
there.
all right.
But been hanging for a while, and, things happen. But now, I remember my first time hearing Van Halen on a cassette, and that tells everybody the year, of course. A 69 Chevelle SS, and I had a girl pulled up that her dad had just bought her a 1978 Corvette.
Ooh.
And we'd heard a couple of the songs off the CD or the cassette. She pulls up, wanting me to go for a ride in her new car, and I'm like, oh, no, I've got to finish listening to this. But Van Halen, they, just like you said, they were it back then. That's all you wanted to do was listen to Van Halen.
They were beloved.
The crush on Valerie, I don't know any 14, 15, 16-year-old boy at the time, I was 16 at that time. I didn't know any of them that didn't have a crush on her. I mean, after
I was like
Farrah
5 or
Fawcett
6.
and Cheryl Ladd.
Yeah, I was 5 or 6, and I never got into like the Charlie's Angels gals, or it was like Valerie struck me like a thunderbolt at a very young age, and that was it. I was like the Cheryl Ladd, the Farrah Fawcett's. I'm the other way. I go the other way with the.
Wouldn't that have been even before Valerie Bertinelli?
Yeah.
You would have been even younger then, wouldn't you?
Yeah, but I'm saying like historically that Valerie Bertinelli's been my type, not the Farrah Fawcett type.
Or brunettes.
Yeah, brunettes. Unlike Chuck, who I would imagine was a lover of the blondes, guessing with his hot wife neighbor now. Don is in Marietta. Don, welcome to the Mark Arum Show.
I love you guys, man. I remember the first time I heard Van Halen. I've been in and out of cover bands a long time, growing up in Nashville, and I heard Van Halen coming back from California, and it was the covers. They covered Pretty Woman, and they covered The Kinks, You Really Got Me, and I mean, they smoked these songs, and I'm going, man, we got to do some songs like that. And over the years, we have smoked some really weird songs and had a lot of fun doing it. And, man, Van Halen, at all the concerts I've ever been to, they're in the top 3 for the loudest concerts I ever went to. Van Halen, Ted Nugent, and The Who were the loudest concerts I've ever attended.
I will concur with that because, and I'll tell you after the news at 7:30 my one Van Halen concert story. But it was a loud concert. Eddie Van Halen, rest in peace, the age of 65. All Van Halen today, spun by DJ Longoria on the other side of the takeout window. We'll come back, and I want to know, have you ever had a platonic roommate of the opposite sex? Because in the time of COVID, not platonic anymore. They're hooking up. 404-872-0750, 1-800-WSB Talk. This is The Mark Arum Show.
Mark Arum on 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Welcome back to the show. Eddie Van Halen gone way too soon. 72 degrees on Peachtree Street, 7 on the Mark Arum Show. Back sweat meter. Kirk Mellish's full forecast straight ahead. Back to the phones. Grant joins us in Decula. Grant, welcome to the show, brother.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you. Always a pleasure. My thing is, first of all, God bless Eddie Van Halen, rest in peace. I was never a big Van Halen fan, not for any reason. I was a little older.
Sure.
I came up a little, before them. But no, it's terrible. It's terrible. He's a great guitarist. But on the roommate thing, back in about probably 85, 86, I was in my late 20s, and I had an apartment, and I did have a girlfriend, and she had a condo. She owned a condo. And so I had a good friend that worked in a Buckhead restaurant, and he said, hey, I got this girl. She doesn't have she needs a place to stay, or needs an apartment or a roommate, whatever. She wasn't homeless, but, can you help her out? Can you need somebody? I said, yeah, she can move in. And it was strictly platonic. And then 3 or 4 or 5 months go by, and everything was fine, and we were cool, and everything. She even, went out with me and my girlfriend. And then she started kind of like, hinting around like she wanted more. And I told my girlfriend, and she goes, "No, that's it. You can move in with me, give her the apartment, do whatever. I don't care. Get rid of that. That's over with."
Yeah, I couldn't imagine having a female platonic roommate. I mean, I could imagine it, but at some point it's going to get a little weird and complicated. So at some point, Deborah Green, you're going to go to the fridge, and there's not going to be anything in there. Then you look in the pantry, and go, "Oh yeah, I forgot I had those Cheerios." We'll come back. More of your calls after news, weather, and traffic. 404. Everyone's shaking their head at me. Literally, everyone in the studio right now shaking their head at me. 404-872-0750, 1-800-WSB Talk on Twitter and Instagram at Mark Arum.
Hey, this is Ray Liotta, and you're listening to the
736, rest in peace, Eddie Van Halen, 65 years young, the greatest guitarist of his generation, perhaps. I'm not an expert on the rock and roll music. Deborah Green, executive producer, who also works at 97.1 The River, our sister station.
If you're talking about like late 70s, early 80s sound, definitely Eddie Van Halen.
Yeah, so gone too soon. I had a personal dislike for Mr. Van Halen. I got over it when he married my childhood crush, Valerie Bertinelli, in 1981. But I'm okay now. I was okay with it. I buried the hatchet with Eddie. I'm sad to see him go. Van Halen, Eddie Murphy, the two coolest things when I was in high school, universally beloved. When you were in high school, what actor or actress or musical group was universally beloved? 404-872-0750, 1-800-WSB Talk. Also, studies show that 25% of platonic roommates have hooked up during the quarantine. Have you ever had a roommate of the opposite sex that you weren't in a relationship with? 404-872-0750, 1-800-WSB Talk. Michael's in Norcross. Michael, welcome to the program.
Hey, how you doing?
What's up, buddy?
Well, no on the platonic roommate thing. And I'm like you. Valerie told me that she was going to wait for me, and I was very upset when Eddie married her.
Exactly.
I will never forget her. I fell in love with her, and I saw her one day at a time. And I had to buy the same Van Halen recording, which I really enjoy the music. Didn't like him, of course, because he married her. But I had to buy the same recordings 4 different times because when I graduated high school in 75, so I bought the album. And then, of course, I had to buy the 8-track because you had to have it in your car.
That's the thing. If you're of a certain age, sorry to interrupt you, like me, I had to buy certain albums 3 different times, right? I had to get it in cassette, and I had to get it on CD, and then I got to get it digitally. Like, I've just been paying and paying and paying for years
and
for
you know
the same music.
And you know what they're back to now, of course. Now
vinyl.
They're back to the album.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about vinyl. Yeah, I'm old enough to have bought vinyl, for sure.
Yeah, but I hang out with a group that was into rock and stuff, so I was able to see Led Zeppelin when I was in high school. My dad was very liberal with me and let me go to different concerts. So I got to see them and got to see Carlos Santana, which about the only person I could think of, and I never saw Jimi Hendrix, although I've seen movies and what have you and listened to his recordings. But to me, I'd put Carlos Santana's guitar playing up against Eddie Van Halen's. I think that would be a really good duel there. Both of them were excellent.
Sure, Santana. Real quick, I'm trying to get my buddies from high school on to corroborate this Van Halen story. I've told them before on the show. What do you think Chuck's watching on Netflix right now? Hunting show?
Maybe Van that Halen. Show you told him?
Oh, yeah. The Social Dilemma. So I was interning at a radio station in Litchfield, Connecticut, 97.3 WZBG. And it was basically like a softer version of B98. Okay, so that's what I was working at.
A softer version.
A softer version.
Wow.
So I was interning in the morning show, and I would write news, and they let me actually do the sports on the air. And they had a stack. I don't know why they got a stack of Van Halen tickets. I mean, it's like B98 giving away Van Halen tickets. But they had a stack.
When was this?
1993, maybe?
Okay, you would have had some ballads in there.
Maybe, yeah. So, but none of the listeners wanted them because, we have that sometimes. We give away anyway. So I called. This is pre-cell phone days. I called everyone I knew. I've got tickets for Van Halen. They're playing at the Groton base, the naval base in Groton, Connecticut. other side of the state for me, but it's a small state. Who wants to go? So I get like 8 buddies to go. And we drive out there, and it's, I don't know, maybe an hour and 15, hour and 30 minutes from my town to the naval base. And again, this is not David Lee Roth Van Halen. This is Sammy Hagar Van Halen. Loudest concert, outdoor, but it was just crazy. And like half of us were, like, I had to get up the next morning and intern at the radio station. And like a couple of other guys were older than me and, you know, didn't want to deal with the crowds and everything. So we left before the concert ended. But again, this is pre-cell phone days. So there's like 4 of us, and there's 4 still out there. So we were like, all right, we'll go back to my car. I'm like, we'll leave a note on the other car saying, hey, we left. Peace out. That's it. Because there's no cell phones. You can't tell anyone you left. So we assumed that the 4 of them were together like the 4 of us. They weren't. My buddy Ted's brother, Rob, drove the other car. He got back to the car, saw the note, didn't do the math in his head that we could not fit 7 people into my car, and left by himself, leaving 3 other people at the thing. So maybe I'm doing the math. There's 2 other people left over. So 5 of us left and 3 stayed, whatever. And he drove home. And the 2 people that were left were 2 of my best friends, Jeff and Lena. And they go back to the parking lot's empty. Both cars are gone. There's nothing there. And there's no cell phones. You can't call anybody. So they had to time it out and wait like an hour and a half to then call Rob's home and be like, hey, what's going on? Blah, blah, blah. So they call up, and Ted answers, who I drove back home, who was Rob's brother. And he's like, hello? It's like 1 in the morning. They're like, Teddy, where are you? We're still at the concert. He's like, what? Why didn't Rob bring you back? Well, he's like, well, I don't know. Everyone's gone. You got to come get us. So Ted, who just driven an hour and a half back, has to go back an hour and a half to pick him up. And as he's pulling out of his driveway, his brother Rob is coming on. And Rob rolls down his window and he goes, what's going on, man? Where are you going? He goes, oh, Lena and Gator are still at the freaking blah, 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 blah. So he's like, oh, that sucks. And then he pulls in. So then he pulls in. And then Teddy has to drive an hour and a half. Meanwhile, it's like daytime now.
Oh.
After that, and Lena and Gator were sitting in front of like a Quickie Mart in Groton, like just reading a magazine they found in the garbage. And Teddy picked them up, and he just opened the door. He's like, get in. And they drove back the hour and a half without saying a word. And I was home asleep when they knew better to call me. But no cell phones, right?
But they never went to another Van Halen concert.
I don't know if they still might be scarred. They're so scarred they don't want to call. I was like, call and tell me, because they remember the story better because they were in it. This is all secondhand for me. But they had to find change for a payphone. They might even have to call collect because they didn't have change for the payphone. Unbelievable. Just a bad moment in our friendship. I had good intentions. I got him Van Halen tickets. Michael's in Covington. Michael, welcome to the show, buddy.
That one, Ted Clark, was it on the Mark Arum show? What Ted Clark, The Adventures, remember that?
I can barely hear you, Michael.
I said that one there.
All right, we lost Michael.
Talking about Ted Clark's Adventures. I don't know if that means anything to you.
Okay, the kickstand. Ted Clark, the kickstand. Thomas is in Buford, Georgia. Thomas, welcome to the show, buddy.
Hey, thanks, Mark. Got to start off by saying R.I.P. EVH.
The other EVH. Yeah, the other EVH.
Well, Eddie Van. Oh, yeah. So, but yeah, my brother was a big fan, but I was just a little bit too young. But he had the posters all over the walls, and I listened to a lot of the music against my will. But I'm glad he did that for me.
I was the same way with Barbra Streisand growing up. My parents would play that all the time. Yes, to the point where I actually got indoctrinated, and I don't mind her music anymore. Kind of reminds me of my childhood.
Well, I was calling about the platonic roommate.
Yes.
My wife and I, we've been married for about 15 years, but about a year before we got married, her best friend moved in with us and actually lived with us till about 6 months after we got married.
How did that work out?
It was completely fine. They're still best friends. My friends just couldn't understand it. They couldn't fathom it. And we'd be out, playing video games in the living room, and she would come walking out in these short shorts and like a wife beater. And my friends, jaws would just drop to the floor, and they'd be like, "Is your wife okay with this?" I'm like, well, she's right there, and she's the one who suggested it. So
I think that's okay, right? Because your wife is there, right? So it's different if you're by yourself. So I was living with a girl, and my buddy, one of my good friends, was going through a divorce. and he asked if he could crash with us. And I was like, yeah, no problem. So he stayed with us for like 3 months before my girlfriend was like, all right, get this dude out of here. Like, I was like, really?
I
She's
had
like,
that happen,
She's
too.
like, yeah, this is enough is enough. I was like, like if you called me Longoria and you, God forbid, you were going through tough time, you could stay at my place as long as you want.
Oh, yeah.
But my ex was like, all right, 3 months, that's it, get him out of here. I was like, whoa, all right.
Oh, my girlfriend went so far as to like go apartment shopping, like got him out.
That's
She's
him.
like, no,
nice.
she circled one. She's like, we're going today. She made him go with her to get him out of the house.
Like, wouldn't you have done the same thing in my shoes? Like one of your best dudes?
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah.
I was like,
not a question.
And it's not like he was staying in our room. Like I had a spare bedroom. And I made him walk the dogs and stuff. Like he was,
I made him do stuff.
He was doing chores. I didn't think there was anything wrong with it, but apparently 3 months was the limit. Carl's in Kennesaw, Georgia. Carl, welcome to the show.
Thanks, sir. How are you?
Excellent. What's going on?
Well, I wanted to say, may Eddie Van Halen rest in peace. I took David Lee Roth's side in the split, but he was still a phenomenal guitarist.
Absolutely.
As far as platonic opposite gender roommates go, I've been in that situation 5 times in my life.
Okay.
And I'm now 45. Twice, it turned into some sort of a relationship.
Not surprising.
3 times. Yeah, 3 times it stayed platonic. And mostly because I was in the Navy at the time, so it wasn't really going to go anywhere beyond anything.
I think it depends when you do it in life, too, right? So if you're 21, there's a greater risk of it turning into something than if you're 61 and you have a platonic roommate, right? At 21,
yeah,
you know,
definitely.
the randiness rate is high.
Yeah.
At 46, I could have a platonic roommate right now and be fine with it. Be like, whatever, I'm going to bed.
Yeah.
But yeah, 21. I think age matters when it comes to platonic. I love the stories of older folks, widows and widowers, whatever, and they lose their betrothed, and then they find whether it's a romantic relationship or not, but they get together later in life and they have companionship.
Mm-hmm.
I love those kind of stories where it's like, Herb lost his wife of Betty of 47 years, and Cindy lost her husband Joe, and they met at Green Grove Retirement Community, and now they're like the couple. You know,
Right.
I think that's heartwarming. So when Bruce takes over your family, don't give up, Chuck. Not all will be lost.
I'll try not to.
You'll eventually find love at
I'll try not
the
to.
Green Grove Retirement Home. Green Grove Retirement Home, by the way, from The Sopranos. That was the fancy retirement home that Livia Soprano and Paulie Walnuts put his mom in. Green Grove. This report brought to you by Green Grove Retirement on the Mark Arum Show. One segment to go. Eddie Van Halen is gone. I still can't believe it. 65 years old. We'll finish it up with your calls. 404-872-0750. 1-800-WSB Talk on Twitter and Instagram at Mark Arum. This is the Mark Arum Show.
Mark Arum on 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Welcome back. Final segment of the Mark Arum Show. Eddie Van Halen, dead at the age of 65. Susan in Gainesville joins us. Susan, welcome to the program.
Hey. This is my first time on any radio show.
Oh, my goodness. I'm so honored. Welcome.
I never do this. But I just have a couple things to say because I'm 67, and I was married to he's dead now. I didn't kill him.
Uh-huh.
But he was a music promoter. He worked for EMI, United Artists, whatever.
Okay.
But anyway, but before that, I mean, when I was 11 years old, my first concert was the Beatles.
Oh, wow. That's a little better than most people's first concert.
I know. I just had to brag a little bit because I don't get to do that very often. But I was 11 years old. We went, remember the Fulton Stadium down, that's gone now. That's where they were, and that was so cool. I went with my mother and my sister, but it was so cool.
I've met a lot of people in Atlanta that went to that concert. That was like a big deal. Like it was a big part of their North American tour, if you were Deborah Green. I'll leave the music stuff to you, but that I do know. Gary's up next to the Mark Arum Show. What's cooking up, Gary?
Hey, my first concert, Doobie Brothers at the New Haven, Connecticut Coliseum.
Oh, wow. Did you get good pizza after the concert, I hope?
Of course. I don't know if you've been there, but you remember the spirally driveway, the ramps that went down from the parking garage?
I do not know.
Okay, well, difficult to maneuver. Let's see. And then the roommate thing. You know, my dad's got a roommate, and my mom died about 18 months ago. He's got a roommate he's 81, she's 83, and I can tell you that the conundrum definitely exists at that age.
Is there love in their eyes?
Oh, well, I'll put it to you this way. I won't identify him, but a minister told me he saw them together and they were hot and heavy. So if a minister says that,
look at that. Good for them. I mean, all due respect to your dear departed ma, but I'm glad that 80. Man, I don't know. If I make it to 80,
I'm done.
Yeah, I don't even know if I'll make it to 80.
Yeah, that'll
I'll be lucky if I make it to 60.
That'll be a rough one. I want you to make it to tomorrow, Longoria, because we got a big day tomorrow.
We do. I'm here for it.
We have the Governor Kemp COVID-19 press conference tomorrow at 9 a.m. We'll air that live. Continuing coverage of the president's health. Hopefully he'll get better. Tomorrow night on my show, senatorial candidate John Ossoff will join us. And then the debate coverage begins right after our show at 8 p.m. with Chris Chandler. And then we'll bring the debate to you live. Hopefully it happens. Hopefully they get things squared away, the vice presidential debate, the only one on the schedule. But if it goes, you will hear it live here on WSB. So wake up with Scott Slade tomorrow morning, of course. 9 a.m. we'll cover Governor Kemp's press conference. Coming up at the Mark Arum Show, I think at 7, we'll hear from John Ossoff, and then debate coverage at 8. So we got you. We got you locked up. Soup to nuts tomorrow on the Mark Arum Show, Longoria. So at least make it to tomorrow.
Yeah, I'll be here.
Let's do star of the show.
And now, are you guys ready for the Mark Arum Star of the Show?
I'm at a loss. I don't know. Anyone I'd want to chime in? Nothing? Cricket? Sanjay? Do we give it to Sanjay? He was good.
Sure. Yeah, sure. Sanjay would be good.
Sanjay and Erickson.
Okay.
Sanjay and Erickson get stars of the show. I haven't given to Eric one in a long time. All right. Big day tomorrow. Big day tomorrow. Do not change that dial. It's going to be listening to WSB Radio all day long tomorrow. Not that it isn't every day, but especially tomorrow. We'll continue the conversation on Twitter and Instagram at Mark Arum. Facebook, Mark Arum WSB. Rest in peace, Eddie Van Halen. In the meantime, go to sleep, little baby.
No other loving baby. Go to sleep, you little baby.
Guests of the Mark Arum Show stay at the All-Suite Omni Hotel, located in the heart of Chicago's Magnificent Mile. 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 Chicago's